This is the Bro Force Squad, fresh out of the theater with a bunch of 6-year-olds and single moms, seeing Disney's newest movie, Toy Story 4. I'm Matt, he's Jeff, grading this, of course, on our 5 criteria: acting, story, best scene, impacts on pop culture, and rewatchability. So kick it off with the acting and cast. Let's throw it to the mayor himself, Jeff Hornacek.
Thanks, Matt. I didn't know if you were going to intro with like what actually just happened, or if you were going to say "Yes, we Canada," which we need to get shirts that fucking say that. I would rock that so hard. Acting cast. I mean, the major players are back, right? It's just kind of cool because I haven't got to see Tim Allen in anything in a while, and even though we'll get into what they did with his character in this, it was always good to hear him. Of course, Tom Hanks, iconic as Woody. One of the people in this movie that finally got their character fleshed out a lot, Annie Potts as Bo Peep. Now, obviously, she's going to have a big part next year as well in the Jason Reitman Ghostbusters sequel again as the secretary. But I really liked what they did with Bo Peep in this movie. It made sense to me. She's a character that has always kind of just been like in the background along with the other toys. But I think where we might have some issues, and I know, Matt, you'll talk about this, is there's just a limited amount of screen time you can give all these characters in the hour 40 minutes. And while I mean, Woody is obviously the star. Bo Peep is probably gets the second most screen time. I like those characters and their arcs and their performances, but I think we got them at the expense of a lot of other people in this movie. And of course, I'll save it for you, but Keanu Reeves, fucking awesome.
So Tom Hanks, if you like Woody, if you like Tom Hanks voicing Woody, great, because you're going to get a lot of him. Tim Allen, cool, he was there. You don't get very much Buzz Lightyear, which I kind of had a problem with. Ham, Rex, all of them, they're there for the first part, and they're always kind of in the background, but they don't really have any one-liners. Even the dog, who's voiced by the guy from fucking what movie?
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World, and yeah, all that shit.
Although there was one really funny line Rex had where he goes, "How are his arms so long?" That was pretty funny.
The newbies, though, as you said, Keanu Reeves still is a fucking show, man. And I think this is Keanu Reeves' year. This is as big as he's ever been. Like, even with, dare I say, Point Break, I don't think he's ever been this big. John Wick is on fucking fire. And now he's getting voice roles, and he's starting to get in that cast like Robert Downey Jr. that's like, oh, he's back and people dig him again. Let's just cast him in fucking everything. And he's taking all these roles, too. Kudos to him and his agent. Christina Hendricks as Gabby, I fucking love. You know I love me some Christina Hendricks. I love Mad Men. She's not really in anything else that I've watched, which is sad. It's kind of like, John Hamm, I think, should be in every fucking movie. Christina Hendricks should be in every movie, too. She's a fantastic actress. Now, I will say, we didn't even mention Key and Peele, man. They were fucking hilarious in this. I actually like them. They play like two Furby dolls, what do they call it? Ducky and Bunny.
Ducky and Bunny, who are like sewed together, so they can't get away from each other.
Yeah, they're sewed together, so they can't get out. And there's like a toy you'd win if you go to a carnival. They're great. I'll have to say I wasn't a big fan of Forky, who was played by
Tony Hale, who you've seen in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's in a lot of TV shows and stuff like that. We'll get into that more in story, but that's kind of the acting and cast. Great voice acting, as always. I didn't have a problem with any of the voice actors, how they acted, maybe the characters a little bit, but it's solid, man. It's a Toy Story fucking movie. They don't fuck up voice casting. I don't think they ever have, with Michael Keaton going back to pretty much anyone they've ever had as voice casting. So going right into the story, Jeff, you're a big Toy Story fan, so was it spoilers, right?
Yeah, spoilers for Toy Story 4. Glad you thought to say
this story.
So my one problem with this going in was I loved the way Toy Story 3 ended. Like, it fucking crushed me emotionally, but in all the right ways. Especially because of where I was at in my life, like Andy's same age when that ended. So this one I was like, what are you guys going to do? Like, Toy Story 3 wraps up the trilogy perfectly. And you and I talked about this off pod, but the first 3 movies take place primarily in one location. Like the first one, they're at Andy and Sid's house, like that area. The second one, they're at Al's toy barn. And the third one, they're really at the daycare for the most time. So now we've taken the toys basically on a road trip. And that had some pluses and some minuses for me. I think, like you said, the biggest problem with the story and the way it's told is it's so Woody centric that, and his emotional beats really worked, especially at the end. Like, I was pretty fucking torn up by that, but it just felt like only his movie. It didn't feel like Toy Story. It felt like Woody's story, and I loved him and his Bo Peep's arc and all the Gabby Gabby stuff and the whole antique store. But like you said, I wanted more of the other toys in it who we've come to love, and I think the way that the story was set up, that was just never going to happen.
So this was a Woody movie. That's all it was. It was a Woody movie, which I understand if you're going to pay Tom Hanks, you want him in it a lot because he's not fucking cheap. However, I would have to say, am I out of line on this, that it's not even half. I'd say more than half, maybe 60%, maybe even fucking 70%. People love Buzz Lightyear more than Woody. I love Buzz. I'm a Buzz guy. I love Buzz more than Woody.
That's the whole point of the first movie, right? Is kids love Buzz Lightyear. The whole point of the
first movie. Even the second one with Emperor Zurg, I've always liked Buzz. I think Buzz's story arc in each one, they've always given him something to do. He has nothing to do in this one. You could tell after about probably 2 weeks around the round table going over the script, they were probably just forcing shit like, we got to give Tim Allen something to do in this movie. And basically the inner voice thing fell flat. He just seemed like he was there. Let's give him... It just seems so forced every time he's on the screen time. Let's give Buzz a couple lines here because he hasn't been in it for a while. The new characters I love. Every time they bring in new toys, I think they hit a home run with it. Yeah. This was no fucking different. I would even say, can we say Keanu's better than Michael Keaton's character? Because he was...
I don't know, man. That's tough.
He stole the fucking show in this. And Jeff told me, Jeff saw it the day before I did, and he was like, Keanu Reeves stole the show. It was so great. Everyone, I think, knows he's in this movie, but they make you wait for it, which is so fucking perfect until about the last 70%. Like 70% of the movie's complete, then he's in it. The story, though, was it unique? Absolutely not. Have you kind of seen it before? Pretty much. It wasn't anything I was like, oh shit, it's not like a Jurassic World where I'm like, I've never thought of that. That's a very unique thing. It just never, whenever I left the movie, did we need to have this movie? No. Other than making money. Did we really need to have this movie? Absolutely not. It was just a money grab, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. I'm hard on franchises, man. Franchises are cool, but give me a reason why. Like, did someone die before? That's why we're doing. Did a villain escape? You know, I told you off pod. I think it'd be cool if Andy had kids, and he's like pissed that all his kid does is look at a screen on an iPad, so he goes on Amazon and buys his old toys. Or I think there should be a Christmas and a kid gets an iPad and that's the new Buzz Lightyear, because kids don't play with fucking toys anymore. They just fucking don't. So I don't even know how kids like this movie, because they're like, what are these antique things I'm looking at? It's like, oh, honey, this is a toy. Put down your iPad a little bit.
Yeah, in real life, Bonnie would have a cell phone, probably.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Kids who shit their pants cell phones.
They made a shit ton of money this week. They're richer than I am, so what the fuck do I know? Every movie has a best scene. What was this one for you?
Mine, I think, both of ours are going to involve the same character, but mine was at the end when they're at the carnival and they need Duke Kaboom to make that jump off the Ferris wheel, and he realizes, like, I'm not gonna be able to make that, and then he realizes, yes, I Canada, and while he pulls off the jump in the air, he simultaneously forgives Regent, his son, or excuse me, the child who had him. Who abandoned him because he couldn't jump as far as he could in the commercials. And he's the fucking MVP of the movie right there. And I think I know what your scene is, and I have a quote from it that I want to mention, so I'll just turn it over to you. Is this going to be another Duke Kaboom?
Yes, mine's Duke Kaboom, though, but it's the very first scene he comes in, and this is why. I will say that this movie is not creative. However, this part was, because whenever he was talking about his kid, I'm like, oh my God, what long, drawn-out story about, oh, I was with this kid for 10 years, but then he questioned his sexuality and became a woman or something. But no, this kid opens a Duke Kaboom toy up on Christmas Day. And just like kids do, it's like, man, I saw the commercial. It can jump over a fucking house. It presses play on it. It jumps like an inch, and he's like, that's it, this sucks, and then just walks away. That's all the story was. I'm like, God, that's perfect. That's awesome. They played with it once. I'm like, this didn't do what the commercial said it is. I'm done with this, Mom. Take it away. This is a shitty Christmas. I don't even know if Jesus exists now. It was fucking awesome.
I did love in that whole scene when Bo went to go find him at like their equivalent of the nightclub in the antique store. How Woody has kind of looked like the shitty friend slash boyfriend. He can't even remember the goats' names. And Keanu's like, "Where are Billy and Goats Gruff? Those
Yeah,
are my girls."
yeah, he like knows him.
He's just like
But
showing up Woody at every turn.
that scene felt like the original Star Wars when Han was in the bar to me too. It was like weird. I
I
just
want
felt
to
like I'm
party.
like this.
I want to party in that gumball machine, man. That looked fucking awesome. I hear you can do party
Okay,
open bar.
impacts on pop culture. Uh, uh, Before I throw it to you, I just want to say one thing because we did talk about the opening scene. I thought they filmed like an actual scene, but the fucking animation in this is better than I've ever seen.
It's
So
incredible.
I'm just gonna say that. Okay, impacts on pop culture.
Yeah, I continue to be amazed. I'm like, okay, animation can't get any better than this, right? And then another Pixar movie comes out, and you're like, Jesus, how? Impacts for me, I mean, we'll just state the obvious, right? So it set the opening weekend record for an animated film. So I don't know if we're going to get another one, but I'm assuming Disney will try to do something with it. So how would you feel about this? And again, let's go into spoilers. Potential impact. If they do a sequel to this movie, how would it include Woody? Would you go to a Toy Story movie without Woody, but with the rest of the toys that went back with Bonnie? Because I would.
I would.
I mean,
I
I
think these toys deserve their due. Some of the other ones are fantastic voice actors, and they're paying a lot of money to have. I mean, some of these are like C-level actors. Like the one guy was on Cheers and nothing else. But I mean, you still got to pay money for them. And of course, each movie they're going to ask for more money because they're like, oh, you need Ham to say one line.
right.
But I would
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I think it would. I mean, Woody's story is complete. Him and Bo get their happy life together. They're with Duke and Bunny and Ducky, and that's fine. That's a great ending to their arc. A character we love. He gets to ride off in the sunset. If they and they probably will make another one. I would go see it if it was just the toys back with Bonnie, and I'm sure they'll find a creative way to utilize them. But as far as impacts, I think this franchise will continue to live on, but I don't think it'll be made with Woody and Tom Hanks. That's kind of my prediction. How about you?
So there's not many. I know everyone's like, Geiger, you're tough on. Yeah, I'm tough on franchises because they make a ton of money, but the younger generation needs to find their own Toy Story. This is our shit. And they keep making these movies with, once again, next time you leave a franchise movie, ask, did this need to be made other than just me paying $15 to see it? Did this deepen any character arcs? Did it further the story? Does it set up another potential story other than just getting $25 in 5 years because ticket prices will go up? There's no reason that we should have had this movie. Nothing. I mean, okay, Woody is now not a toy in a room. He's out on his own with Bo Peep. I guess the love story is complete, even though I don't ever think that love story really transgressed each movie. Like it was kind of there the first movie. Bo wasn't even in there the third. But
Well, I don't even really
this
get.
movie,
I guess Woody's arc is that like you get one kid in life, so it's kind of depressing, really, if you think about it, right? Like
Woody's arc changes every movie depending because they need to keep making more movies. That's what I mean. Is it wasn't a drawn out plan to make 8 fucking Toy Story movies. So every time you see Woody, he's basically a different character in my eyes. He totally fucking changes. And Buzz is just like, hey, he's the comic relief. What stupid shit do we want him to do this time? And
well, the
this
first
movie
three
didn't need to be made
movies,
at all.
the first three movies for Woody, his objective was to stay with Andy. And then in this one, I think he realizes that like he's trying to get everyone back to Bonnie, and he's just like, and it's depressing to think, but he's like, dude, I'm not a part of that anymore. Like I could not be on the RV and Bonnie wouldn't care. So he kind of, part of it's kind of like giving up, which is a really sad message to kids.
I'll tell you another bad message to send. Me and my wife were sitting next to this little 5-year-old kid that was just so excited to go. And when Woody basically calls out Bo Peep's loyalty and they kind of break up for a while. And then whenever they're under the merry-go-round, Bo Peep's like, yeah, Woody's really loyal. We need to go help him. I looked at this kid and he was like smiling like, you poor little bastard. The woman will never forgive you. You're the one that's always going to have to go back to her. It's sending the wrong message. That poor little kid's like, yeah, I can say something wrong to my girlfriend and she's just going to come back and apologize. Wrong. That's fucking wrong. I wanted to tell him. I'm just like,
yeah, and if you ever forget the name,
this.
if you ever forget the name of your girlfriend's Billy Goats, you might as well just give up on the relationship altogether.
Yeah, you'll never get laid again.
They never forget that shit.
I just wanted to tell him anal's out the window if that happens to the 5-year-old kid that's sitting next to me.
I got one of the
Impacts
three
on
days,
pop
right?
culture. All right, rewatchability. First off, did I have fun in this movie theater? We don't talk about movie theater experience. Absolutely. I mean,
same.
Me and my wife were looked at like, where the fuck's your kid? Why are you here? Are you going to steal one of our kids for a while? But after the audience got past that, we had fun. It was an awesome fucking movie. Did it need to be made? Probably not. Do I want my $15 back? No, I had fun. It was fine. If they make another one, I'll go fucking see it because I do love Toy Story movies. What about you?
Yeah, I saw this with my fiance opening night. I believe that Friday. It was packed house, obviously. Guy sitting next to me, 40-year-old man, maybe 45, by himself. And I get it, dude. You love Toy Story, go see it, but you just have to be cognizant. It is kind of a weird look. Now, that was probably an aside, didn't need to be said. But one thing I have to say about maybe this is more impact, but
calling out people.
If I knew his name, I'd give his Twitter handle out. Just put him on a watch list. It's fine.
Guarantee you he subscribes. Some of the weird messages.
He's like, holy shit, Hornacek, that was you? To my right?
Oh. I would have had you sign my body.
One thing I think is cool about this franchise is that, so we talk about rewatchability. Obviously, they're able to make these movies because they do gangbusters in theaters and on Blu-ray and things like that. But this is one of the rare properties that transcends generations in the sense of, like, I remember seeing the first one when I was a kid. And a lot of the shit that we loved when we were kids is not fucking cool anymore. Like, kids don't like it now. Like, think of all the things that have gone by the wayside. Like, those new Ninja Turtles movies flopped. Like, Batman, the animated series isn't even... Like, a lot of the animated shit that we liked, this new generation doesn't get. It doesn't work with them. Toy Story is immune to that. Like, my theater, just like yours, was packed with kids, and I think that's really cool that Disney's found a way to make this property grow, and not only that, but like market it to a modern audience, especially to your point, Geiger, when a lot of them probably don't even play with toys. So for them to be interested in a movie about toys is kind of an anomaly to me. So is that rewatchability? No, but it's watchability for me. And yeah, when this is on Disney Plus, I'm going to watch it again because I liked it.
Well, that's our review. Hate it or love it. You listen to it if you're still listening to it, so thank you.
Appreciate it.
We have a website, bro4squad.com. We're on YouTube, iTunes. Subscribe to both. Twitter, @bro4squad. You can tweet us. And Jeff is on Letterboxd, and he has our name on it, so you can.
It's awesome.
Is it follow or subscribe? How do they even do it?
They follow us. Yeah, Bro4Squad, 3 words. Check it out.
That sounds nifty. Until then, we'll see Lion King or Spider-Man. One of those two.
Yes.
We'll see one of those. That's what we think, if you care. All right.
Outro music. Dude, how funny were the scenes where Bunny and Ducky would, like, describe their plan, and it was always just attacking something?